Welcome back to Timeless Sagas, the channel where history comes alive, and we uncover the stories that have shaped our world. Today, we're diving into the thrilling and often controversial tale of capitalism, a story that has its roots in the dawn of human civilization and continues to have a profound impact on our lives today. So, grab your favorite beverage, sit back, and let's explore the epic saga of capitalism. Once upon a time, in a world not too different from our own, human societies flourished, trading goods and services to meet their needs and desires. This was the birth of the market economy, a system of voluntary exchanges that allowed people to specialize in what they did best and trade the fruits of their labor for what they needed. The market economy was a powerful force for innovation and progress, enabling our ancestors to create wealth and improve their quality of life. But it wasn't until the Middle Ages that the seeds of capitalism, as we know it today, began to take root. In the bustling towns and cities of Europe, merchants and craftsmen formed guilds to protect their interests and regulate their industries. These guilds were the forerunners of modern corporations, and they played a vital role in the development of capitalism by promoting trade, investment, and the division of labor. During the Renaissance, the world witnessed the rise of powerful city-states like Venice, Florence, and Genoa, which thrived on trade and commerce. These city-states were the incubators of capitalism, fostering an environment of innovation, competition, and economic growth. It was here that the modern banking system was born, enabling merchants to borrow money, invest in new ventures, and expand their businesses. The age of exploration and the discovery of the New World in the late 15th century provided a powerful impetus for the growth of capitalism. The vast new territories and resources that were now available to European powers set off a fierce competition for wealth and power, fueling the rise of mercantilism, an economic system that sought to maximize a nation's wealth by promoting exports and accumulating precious metals like gold and silver. The mercantilist era saw the birth of the first multinational corporations, such as the British East India Company and the Dutch East India Company, which wielded enormous power and influence in their quest for profits. These corporations were granted monopolies over trade in their respective regions, effectively becoming extensions of the state and playing a crucial role in the growth of European empires. But the mercantilist system was not without its flaws, and it was challenged by a new school of thought that emerged in the 18th century, known as classical economics. Pioneered by thinkers like Adam Smith, David Ricardo, and John Stuart Mill, classical economics argued in favor of free markets, competition, and minimal government intervention. Smith's seminal work, The Wealth of Nations, published in 1776, laid the intellectual foundations for capitalism as we know it today. Smith argued that the invisible hand of the market would guide individuals to act in their own self-interest, which would, in turn, lead to the overall well-being of society. This idea became the cornerstone of capitalist ideology, which held that the pursuit of profit and the accumulation of wealth were not only morally justifiable but also beneficial to society as a whole. The Industrial Revolution of the 18th and 19th centuries marked a turning point in the history of capitalism. The advent of new technologies like the steam engine, the spinning jenny, and the power loom revolutionized production, enabling the mass production of goods at a fraction of the cost. The factory system replaced the traditional guilds and cottage industries, giving rise to a new class of industrialists who accumulated vast fortunes. At the same time, the Industrial Revolution saw the rise of a new working class, made up of laborers who toiled in the factories for long hours and low wages. The harsh conditions faced by these workers sparked a wave of social unrest and gave birth to the labor movement, which sought to improve the lives of the working class through collective bargaining and political action. The struggle between capital and labor was a defining feature of the 19th and early 20th centuries, culminating in the rise of socialism and communism as alternative ideologies to capitalism. The Russian Revolution of 1917 and the subsequent establishment of the Soviet Union under the leadership of Vladimir Lenin marked a critical juncture in the history of capitalism, as it demonstrated that an alternative economic system was possible. But despite the challenges posed by these rival ideologies, capitalism proved to be remarkably resilient and adaptable. The Great Depression of the 1930s shook the foundations of capitalism and led to the rise of Keynesian economics, which advocated for greater government intervention in the economy to ensure full employment and stable prices. This approach to economic policy came to dominate the post-war period, laying the groundwork for the so-called golden age of capitalism that lasted from the 1940s to the 1970s. During this era, capitalism was characterized by strong economic growth, rising living standards, and a robust welfare state that provided a safety net for the less fortunate. However, the economic stagnation and high inflation of the 1970s led to the emergence of neoliberalism, a new economic philosophy that championed free markets, deregulation, and globalization as the keys to prosperity. The neoliberal era, which began in the late 20th century, saw the rise of multinational corporations and the increasing dominance of finance in the global economy. The fall of the Soviet Union in 1991 marked the end of the Cold War and the triumph of capitalism over communism, reinforcing the belief in the superiority of the capitalist system. However, the global financial crisis of 2008 and the growing wealth inequality in recent decades have raised serious questions about the sustainability of capitalism. The rise of populist movements and the resurgence of socialism in some corners of the world suggest that the story of capitalism is far from over. As we stand at the crossroads of history, it is worth reflecting on the remarkable journey that capitalism has taken us on, from the humble beginnings of the market economy to the dizzying heights of the global financial system. Capitalism has been, and continues to be, a powerful force for innovation, wealth creation, and human progress. But it has also been a source of conflict, inequality, and social upheaval. The story of capitalism is a timeless saga, one that is inextricably intertwined with the story of humanity itself. As we look to the future, the challenge for all of us will be to learn from the past and shape a more just, inclusive, and sustainable form of capitalism that can continue to serve as a driving force for human progress. Thank you for joining me on this fascinating journey through the history of capitalism. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Timeless Sagas for more intriguing stories from the annals of human history. Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and remember, history is never as distant as it seems.